and on your side. You're watching WBRC Fox 6 News at 10.
Strange flyers showing up on a doorstep in Hoover, and the homeowner thinks it's a code used by crooks.
Now, Ashley Knight went out to check this out. Ashley, you talked with the homeowner?
I did, and you know, he's very spooked by all of this, especially by what happened just 2 days after he discovered the flyers. Corbett Chandler came home to something strange last Sunday.
I come home and there's a sign that says gold on it. It's a yellow, just hand-drawn piece of paper laying on the doorstep.
His wife told him she found one in the mailbox the week before, so he went to Facebook about it, and his friends had some disturbing opinions.
Burglars and robbers will mark homes, so they'll mark the home and the time of day, things like that.
Chandler wasn't at home when the paper was left. After that, they decided to make a few changes.
Installed these security cameras around the home. We changed our schedules, moved our cars into the garage, some things we hadn't been doing.
The very next day, at a time when Chandler is normally away from home, this is what his surveillance camera caught.
My phone lights up and I get a notification. It's 5:42 a.m. and somebody's walking up these stairs and comes and knocks on this door.
Chandler tells his wife to call police while he answers the door. The man there says his car is broken down. Ultimately, he leaves, but when police come and find him, it turns out he didn't actually have a car. Chandler believes the man was trying to gain access to his house while he was gone and shudders to think what might have happened if his wife and 2 girls had been home alone.
If I hadn't have been here, I mean, who knows what would have happened? Like, the whole thing is crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
Now, Chandler says he recognized the man from an incident back in 2016 and saw him around the neighborhood mowing people's lawns. He feels this incident was premeditated. Meanwhile, police say they want to hear from you if you receive papers like this so they can document when and where it happens. Ashley Knight, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
Ashley, thanks. An update tonight on some breaking news from this afternoon. Lipscomb police working to identify the man found wrapped in trash bags and left right on the side of the road. Earlier this afternoon, a FedEx driver found the man while on a route along Brewer Drive and 3rd Street. Police tell us they suspect foul play. The man's feet and head were found bound with tape. Investigators think he'd been there for several hours before officers got there.
This right here is a tragedy within itself. Nobody should be presented that way. Nobody should even be done like that. We're going to do the best that we can to try to solve this as quickly as possible, because we know that there's a family out there that needs closure.
Chief Moses told us the man had one visible injury to his head, but would not go into further detail about that injury. If you have any information, call Lipscomb Police.
The day after the Galleria shooting decision, 2 people are arrested outside the Alabama Attorney General's office in Montgomery. Protesters and E.J. Bradford Jr.'s family were asking for a meeting with the Attorney General.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No racist, no peace.
The Attorney General's office says at one point the group was given 2 warnings to disperse. 2 women that state troopers say ignored those warnings were arrested on charges of disorderly conduct. E.J. Bradford Sr. says this situation could have been handled better.
They're going to get a sign that they brought up here. And, you know, to me, that's petty. That's pettiness, because whoever over the state troopers could have handled it a better way, could have let them got the sign and say, hey, let them go.
And you still want to hear talk to Steve Martin? So
yeah. If he got the guts, but he ain't got the guts, though.
The Bradford family is promising legal action. Meanwhile, Hoover's mayor says the city is standing by the officer who shot E.J. Bradford Jr. Mayor Frank Bricato also says that he expects the city to move forward with its own investigation to determine if anything needs to change. The mayor also says he's prepared for legal actions and more protest.
I said we would vigorously defend our city and our police officer. We will vigorously defend individuals' right to protest and their First Amendment right. I think we have a very good track record of showing that.
A Hoover spokeswoman says talks are underway now with various groups about race relations in the city. The city may call for public meetings later in the year. If you want to read the full Attorney General's report on the Bradford shooting, we have it up right now on WBRC.com and our WBRC News app.
3 teenagers charged tonight in Tuscaloosa after 2 other teens were shot last night. One of those victims critical at this hour. Alexander Bishop, Dorian Thomas, and Quintarius Farmer face attempted murder, assault, and other charges. Police found women shot outside the Haycourt Apartments on 21st Street. A 19-year-old was shot in the head, a 17-year-old in the leg. Police are not saying why this shooting happened. And come this time tomorrow, several major roads in Fairfield will be in the county's control. Those include Valley Road, Aaron Aronoff Drive, and Rutledge Drive, all of which are in desperate need of repairs, including new paving and striping. County Commissioner LaShonda Scales telling us tonight that tomorrow morning, the commission will approve an agreement between Fairfield and Jefferson County. Well, the flu is going around, and tonight it's hit at least one school system pretty hard. Hayden area schools in Blount County, they're closed for the rest of the week because of the flu. Students are being told to stay home, but all faculty and staff will be at work tomorrow. All other Blount County schools will be on a normal schedule. Well, last week it was freezing, and now we're breaking records here in Alabama.
It's the sort of day that you hate to stay home from school because it's so warm outside. But JP, did we break a record out there?
2 of them, Tuscaloosa and Birmingham today. Tuscaloosa actually hit 80 degrees. I know it felt like that. We got a little sunshine late in the day, and that also helped that process out. Not much on the radar tonight. Tomorrow night at this time, we will be tracking some rain. Let's talk about tomorrow morning. Out the door, work or school, temperatures around 8 a.m., temperatures in the mid-60s, 67 at 10 a.m. It is going to be cloudy. Not a lot of sunshine in tomorrow's forecast. By around 2 p.m., 74 degrees, about the same at 4 o'clock. Temperatures tomorrow will either break those records or tie them. We'll talk about the big change in temperatures. It's going to be a lot colder by the weekend. We'll update you on that in just a few minutes.
Well, the old Caraway Hospital campus could be the next big thing in Birmingham. The city council included the space on its expansion of the Druid Hill Urban Renewal District to fight blight and promote redevelopment.
That's right, and Jamise Price shows us it's creating some concern.
Catherine, neighbors want to make sure that all parts of Druid Hill see improvement as it is now. They tell me parts of that community have been abandoned for decades, and now that there's a big conversation happening about redevelopment, they want to be a part of it. And in just a few years, Druid Hills will look a lot different. A new stadium, BJCC upgrades and expansions, and possibly big plans for that Caraway site. City Councilor Darrell O'Quinn said there's talks of a bowling alley, a movie theater, multi-family homes, and an amphitheater. It's a nearly $500 million investment.
We just want you to spread a little magic over the hill for the Magic City. Because soon as you come over the hill, this is what you see. Okay?
They don't want to see this huge investment in their community, and then the rest of the neighborhood is just, left to fend for itself.
Neighbors brought their concerns to the city on Tuesday. Today, city crews were out there trying to clear the debris that's in that community. In the newsroom, Jamise Price, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Jamise, thanks. New at 10, Tuscaloosa's mayor is asking you to pay more in sales tax to fund a plan he says will transform the city into the 21st century.
The mayor giving the public a chance to look at those plans tonight. Josh Gant has reaction from the community. Josh?
Yeah, good evening, guys. As we told you last week, Tuscaloosa Mayor Walt Maddox is laying out a big vision to transform the city into a more technology-driven area. Tonight at the Tuscaloosa River Market, people got a chance to see what the Elevate Tuscaloosa plan is all about. It calls for a 1-cent sales tax increase that the mayor says will generate $250 million over the next 10 years for 19 projects, including an event center, basketball complex, and expanding pre-K among other projects. People we spoke with are optimistic about it.
By and large, I think this is a really great opportunity for Tuscaloosa to grow. If you're not growing, whether it's a business, a city, a person, you're kind of dying.
Obviously, raising taxes, that's something within itself. But if you look at the bigger picture, I think it's going to be very positive for the community.
Now, Mayor Maddox says Elevate Tuscaloosa is a project about opportunity, jobs, and the future. City Council could vote on this proposal in the coming weeks. In Birmingham tonight, I'm Josh Gant, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Thanks, Josh. It's time to file your taxes, and if you need help, you can get it for free. Several volunteers will be at the Greater Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in Birmingham Saturdays until April 15th.
Well, for persons who may not have had the opportunity to have their taxes done, this is a great opportunity and a great resource certainly it would be worth your while to come by and take advantage of it.
That tax help available Saturdays from 9 until 1, again at the Greater Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Your income has to be under $55,000 though. Make sure you bring your photo ID, your social security cards for yourself, your spouse, and your dependents, and all your tax forms. If you're married, you and your spouse both have to be present. National Signing Day wrapping up with a celebration tonight on the UAB campus. The Blazers celebrating the 15 players who committed in December during the early signing period.
Coach Bill Clark says they're looking forward to another great year.
This signing group was huge. You know, I think it's one of the best groups that we've ever signed. A lot of high school kids, and you know that's what you're going to start seeing from us. And it's always good to get guys, you know, from our area.
UAB's spring game is Saturday, April 6th at Legion Field. Kickoff is at 1. Tickets are $5.
We certainly feel fortunate that we're able to attract the quality of people. We're certainly satisfied.
Coach Saban and the Crimson Tide celebrating its #1 recruiting class. That includes Ishmael Sopsher. The big defensive lineman out of Louisiana is considered the top in class in that position.
Big news of the day coming from Hoover High School, where 5-star wide receiver George Pickens chose Georgia over Auburn after having verbally committed to the Tigers in July of last year. In 2017, actually. Here's a look now at the national rankings. As mentioned, coming in first, followed by Georgia, Auburn finishing 11th, and UAB ranked 5th overall in Conference USA. WBRC hit up nearly a dozen schools today. Spain Park had 14 signees. Birmingham City Schools with 30 students from 6 schools. Mountain Brook to Hewitt-Trussell, where it's all smiles for these students. Athletes will take their talents to the next level. You can catch all of the action on today's signees on our WBRC News website and app.
The political mess in Virginia only growing larger tonight, and it could completely shake up who runs the entire state. And later, to say this jail escape went awry would be putting it mildly. How his bold plan ended up with him hanging from the ceiling.